Good evening, Rokugan. Thank you for tuning into Fire Chicken Review, where we talk about custom gaming products for the living card game Legend of the Five Rings, made by Fantasy Flight Games. This evening, I have a review by a person that makes custom tokens for a variety of LCG games, well known within the Game of Thrones LCG community, and when L5R became LCG, started making custom tokens for fans as soon as it came out. So the company's name, as you see, is Laser-Radix. They gave me their business card, which, as you can tell, even the business card is acrylic itself, which I think is kind of cool. I think it's awesome that he made a little card like that. And on the back, it simply tells you exactly what they do. They focus in making acrylic tokens, coins, cards, and bid dials for L5R. So I will say that this is going to be a little bit different of a review. For the most part, it will be the same, but all the tokens that you see here are custom ordered tokens. So the company was nice enough to give me a sample for free of some of the things that they make for people and fans. But I'm just going to talk generally what I think of the design process, the thickness, the look of the tokens themselves. And again, this is all quite a bit opinionated, because if you're designing it from this company, you probably have a specific thing in mind that you want to get from them. But without further ado, just give me 1 minute. I'll be back after I clear the board. All right, welcome back there. So I wanted to start off with this first player marker that I was sent. Here's a smaller version as well. I really like this. It's quite interesting. I like the look of the character image that you see, and just the design. I think it's a super cool design. So whoever wanted this, or if the designer came up with it, I think it looks wicked. It's quite shiny here, and my preference is that I would definitely use this one here over the smaller one, but I'm assuming the smaller one, just to give you size comparisons, is either, again, it might not be used for first player token. It might be used for like an honor status token. On the back, they're just blank on the back. There's nothing for these tokens. A lot of the tokens are double-sided here. But overall, I think this token looks awesome. I love the design of it. Now, I'm going to have a major complaint for a majority of these tokens, and that is the thickness of these are quite thin. If I was to show you compared to, let me just grab the cardboard here. The cardboard fate token that you see here is actually almost, it's not twice as thick, but it's even the cardboard here is thicker. So I won't focus on that too much. That being said, I think the ones that were given, this is the thickness. You can probably ask for it to be a thicker cut, but the good side of it, if I'm thinking about it, is that it probably makes it cheaper because it weighs less and it's a more compact type of thing. But to me, it's just a little bit wafer thin, if I was to say. It's a little bit too thin, so the weight doesn't feel exactly right. But again, as far as the look goes, I like the look of this first player token, or the smaller version, which I would use as like an honor token. Moving on, speaking about honor, let's go with some tokens that I think are really cool. Is that these three tokens right here? Whoever came up with this, I love these. These look awesome. I think these are fantastic. Having, I don't think I've seen too many of these actually. So having your honor tokens in stacks of 5, 10. I do know, I think 1 or 2 companies that did make higher status honor tokens, so you don't just have the one. But I actually am a super big fan of how far these ones go. Let me zoom in properly. When I say how far these goes, I mean the actual size. I love that these are almost each just a little bit bigger, so this is like 3 times as big as this one, so that these stick out right away. And when I'm starting the game off, most of the clans either start at 11, or our one clan that starts at 10, and soon one that's going to start at 9 when the new Scorpion card comes out. But basically what I like about it is that it makes your setup even that much more faster. And I don't think you're going to have too many people that are going to have issues, which sometimes people do have issues with custom tokens. With these honor tokens, I think people are going to recognize them quite clearly. This is the only thing is that the individual ones, you have to tell them when you set up. This is, oh yeah, this is honor status, but once you got it going, I'm at 16, I'm at 11. I love the sizes, and these are actually double-sided as well. Again, when I said, oh, sorry, let me zoom in properly here. These are double-sided. I love the look. It looks like a phoenix to me on that side, and just that honor status that you're used to seeing on the cardboard one. Again, the thickness, I wish was a little bit thicker, but that's an easy fix if you're getting these custom made. But I actually really like this. I would order these myself. These look wicked. So whoever designed these, yeah, these are fantastic. Getting on to Fate, I'm going to move some variety of Fate tokens that came. So it just had some different examples of Fate. So you got the ones that come in the base game here, the cardboard ones that they only look okay in my opinion. I actually, just to let you know, I was on, I think Reddit, and someone actually had a really easy way just to get sidetracked here to up your game by just coloring in the sides here. So coloring honor sides here in red and I think pinkish for here. So it just gives it a little bit more of a 3D aspect. I'll probably add that to the link in the video below here. But getting back to the review. So you have your Fate, different examples that they gave me here, and some that I like and some that I think are okay. Now, obviously they all follow the same flower aspect. I think these all look generically okay, and some of them look pretty nice. So the first two here, focusing on the circle ones, I'm not as big a fan of these ones myself, just because I prefer it to almost feel more like a 3D image, where these just feel like normal tokens here. Nothing wrong with them, but nothing too fancy about them. So if I was to take the exact same one here, so these are both acrylic, but I like this one. It pops out a little bit more than this. And again, they're about a size and a half bigger than the original cardboard one. These ones are, the thickness again is a little bit thin in my opinion, but I actually really like these ones. These ones feel great. I would use these if I was getting custom tokens, because these are light and will fit in your deck boxes or wherever method you're going to use quite easily. And here's just the other one there. So I'm not going to go too much more into that, just quickly reviewing those. Again, here's some honor tokens that they have. So I showed you the set, and these are more traditional ones here. I really like this one here, even though it's quite plain, and I'm usually not a person that is into plain, with the cardboard on the left here. I actually like this one quite a bit, and it follows very much the similar as the other one I showed earlier, same size and everything. This one I'm not as big of a fan of, but it looks a lot like the original cardboard one. As you can see, it's basically a carbon copy, just a little bit thicker and acrylic, of course. Not too bad. The next thing I want to go over is just these tokens here. Now, I wasn't given a description of all the tokens, so if I mix them up, I'm sure I'll be correct in the review, but I would use these tokens as Fate tokens as well. These are actually kind of interesting. They're kind of nice. It depends on your artistic view of these. But what I like about these ones here is they almost have the colors representing of like the different clans. Like the green one here reminds me of Dragon. This one reminds me of Scorpion. The blue one, Crane, and so forth. So these are just another example of some of the tokens that they make. Again, same size. These ones are not double-sided, they're just single-sided, these tokens here, but you can probably ask for it to be double or single-sided. After that, what I wanted to get into was all of these tokens right here. So these ones here, if I can focus on them a bit better, these represent the different clans. So I think these could have different uses. I would personally probably use these tokens, starting off with showing you a phoenix, of course. Being a fire chicken, I have to show this one. I really like the art on this one here. This one is double-sided. This looks like it would represent like an honor token on this side, is what I'm assuming. And for on the Phoenix side, I'd probably use this personally for any character abilities. Like let's say I bring in my new character here that we just got, I think in the first or second of the elemental pack. And a lot of the abilities in the game, if you're unaware, you can only use once unless the card text tells you otherwise. So I would use this to represent for myself. Okay, I used her ability because I played a card during conflict that had an air trait on it. And I would just pop this down so I can remember. Obviously, you can use it for multiple things. You can use it for fate or wherever you want to have. But I like the idea of especially tracking your abilities in the longer game when your mind's starting to go, and in the casual game, just so you can keep track, and or if you want, if your opponent's not opposed to it, so that you can keep track of abilities that they triggered. So this is again pretty cool, interesting back. The thickness is like all the other ones, like I mentioned, is a little bit too thin for me. But I'm just gonna go over and show you the variety of them. For the most part, I think they all look interesting. Really, I'm curious where the artwork came from, but I really like some of the artwork on these, and just a image on the back. Here's a line one here. I'm just going over them quickly. This one looks like it has like a fate side. Again, just going over them quickly because these are players' designs that they requested type of thing. I do like this version of the line. It's quite nice. Interesting, I'm not sure why there's not a proper backside on this, or it might have just been the design. One of the more ones that is interesting, I like this crane a lot actually. I'm not sure what I would do with it, but I just like how it pops out a little bit more. And it's a little bit more three-dimensional, depends on your size. Again, I was talking about the thickness of this. So this is nice that it has something on the back here, just a simple back. But I like this. I would use these, again, just to represent abilities that I use, or in this case, putting like fate on a character or whatnot. But I really do like this crane one. Another one of the crane ones that I like is just this design here. Just a simple cutout of a crane. I think it looks great. That same design that I showed earlier, just on a different one here. Again, just quickly going over this, because overall, all of these, since they're custom, they all, all depends on what you want to do, right? As you can see, the company has made one for pretty much all the different clans. Sorry, not the Phoenix, but the unicorn one here, again, looks like the previous one that I showed. If I bring that back up, just different colors and showing you the palettes of the colors here. The scorpion one, I find it's a little bit dark when you're trying to look at it. I'm not as big of a fan of it, just because it's a little bit dark, a little bit harder to see if you have it out on your mat. It's like, oh, is that a scorpion? The crab one here is a little bit too plain for my taste, but it's still nice to see the variety of the clans. And the dragon one here kind of reminds me of like Dragon Ball Z type of dragon that you got going on here. A little bit simplistic, but again, you can get whatever variety that you want. Speaking about customization and whatnot, I really thought these ones were interesting here. So these are just a different way. So you got ninja stars as honor tokens. I actually really like these. I think these are cool. So these are two different sizes. I'm just showing you here. Very shiny. They're double-sided. So no matter which way you're throwing your honor at your opponent, they're super shiny. And these ones are awesome. I recommend checking out these ones. I think these are interesting. Some of the other stuff that we got on the go to talk about is, speaking about honor and dishonor, I'll put my character out here so you can see. So we got some honored and dishonored tokens that the company has also made. These are actually quite nice. I think, again, the thickness is a little bit too thin for me, but I like the artwork on here. Very easy to tell if it's honored or dishonored, just showing here. And they are double-sided, so just different artwork and whatnot. Here's a shinier version of the one on the right. Nope, the one on the left, sorry. I'm trying to figure out what side I'm on. Again, it's double-sided here. And here's just another version. So I got a variety of versions just to show exactly what they look like. I think that it's pretty easy to tell if they're honored or dishonored. I don't think the artwork makes it too busy to see, and you're going to just look at that and go, yeah, that's pretty cool. So it'd be awesome to have just a set of 5 or 10 of these, and probably not too expensive to order this from the company. So yeah, these work out great. If you want to have some custom acrylic tokens, you can put your name on it, you can do whatever, right? You just gotta work with the person. And I think when you're talking about custom tokens, that's probably one of the more interesting things to do, is having a company where you can talk to them and ask, like, hey, I want to have this variety of things. So the last little bit here that I wanted to show is these random tokens that you see in front of you here. These are just some of the other things that they make. So they just brought me some yin yang tokens and whatnot. But some of the other cooler aspects that they brought are these little stones that, again, if you want to use like power actions or just declare that your actions have been used. I really was looking at these rocks here, or what looked like rocks to me. I was like, oh, these are pretty interesting. Especially with, I would use like one of these if I had one that was like, it was like a light blue and dark blue cracks or something like that. I would love to use that for some of the new crab cards that are coming out, and just to show that my actions have been used. But this is also interesting if you're into just a variety of games or board games, and you want some tokens to represent different status effects. The best example of that I was provided, if I can pull it out, just give me a second, is this token here. So if you got like your character poison here, so if I was to show my character right here, you can just plop this right on and show the symbol that she's poisoned with a little like air bubble thing, or have these little health tokens to represent other things such as, oh, okay, so now she has some sort of effect. Oh, sorry, wasn't working too well there. But yeah, you get the gist of it. Is that he makes a lot of different custom tokens, not just for L5R, for Game of Thrones and a few other things. So this was a review on Laser-Radix. Again, you can find him on Facebook, just like you see on his little thing here. And he makes some really cool stuff. You should check out the Facebook page. Shows some of the other examples of tokens that they make. Overall, if I was to rate these custom tokens, and I apologize because, again, it's a little bit harder because these aren't things that you're going out and buying per se, but you're asking for a custom order. I would definitely talk to the owner and say, hey, get the thickness that you want, the proper size that you want. But these are all things that you're probably going to be able to easily work with, right? So when you talk to them, you can get exactly the tokens that you want, and you can get a variety. It doesn't just have to be for L5R. So I hope you liked the review. Let me know what you thought of the tokens. And again, for anything L5R custom tokens, let me know. This has been Fire Chicken Review. Thank you for tuning in.